Hey everyone, Rodney and I are back from Team 25 Europe, and we have some exciting news to be covering. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Rovo, but specifically covering three big things that they announced. And that is Rovo knows everything, Rovo works everywhere, and Rovo helps everyone. And so we're going to break these down and get our opinions and thoughts and help you understand what this means for you and your organization. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, drop a like. And Rodney, what do you think about Rovo being everywhere, knowing everything, and helping everyone?
I'm going to not mince words. I think they could have put this point a lot better because I think my notes had for this particular slide, Rovo is Big Brother.
Yeah, on my LinkedIn post, I put in parentheses, Big Brother? Question mark.
And I
This
think
is
that's the takeaway most people had from this slide. This was definitely a marketing fail here.
I mean, I understand the intent here, and I understand the ambition, and I think it's a great one. I think in order for Atlassian to really make Rovo be mainstream, it's got to know everything. It's got to be everywhere, and it's got to be able to help everyone. And I think that last one is where Atlassian needs the most amount of work.
If this slide had just been that, I think it would have been a lot better. Again, I don't think it's the intent that's the problem here. I think it was the messaging, how they put it, that
Yeah.
really put everyone on edge. But I mean, it is kind of true. Rovo, using the Atlassian platform, kind of knows what work you're doing, what the context is, thanks to Confluence, how that impacts upstream, downstream services, thanks to JSM, what assets to touch, a little bit of everything here. So, I mean, Rovo
And this
knows
is
everything.
important.
It's kind of true.
Yeah, and it's important, right? Robos needs to know everything because to really empower every team, right, as Atlassian wants to
Hmm.
do, Robo needs to have so much intimate knowledge of all your productivity things, right?
Hmm.
Every email that you've written, right? Every single document you've ever authored, every interaction. Heck, I would say if they could figure out how to scan every sticky, that would probably should be in there too, right?
I
But like
mean, they kind of showed that.
we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, but for Robo to be helpful, which is that last part, it does need to know everything because the moment there's a gap in the knowledge, then you're going to lose the credibility of what Robo can do to be helpful. So yeah,
Correct.
Robo knowing everything, very, very critical again, but it's just scary. I think a lot of organizations, this is the biggest hurdle.
Robo works everywhere. I think it was definitely interesting because they definitely tried to push this angle. And two things I'll call out here is Rovo Desktop and Rovo Mobile.
Yeah, those were exciting yet scary at the same time.
Hmm. I mean, the demo they showed, I think, is probably the most classic use case that any Jira admin has faced, which is you have some PM somewhere that needs to create a bunch of issues, and they have them in an Excel document.
Yeah.
And they're going to go to their admin, like, can you please import these? Which, of course, admins, that's CSV import for us, common separate value, which is possible, but is somewhat of a pain. And they just showed Rovo doing it directly from the
Desktop.
Excel document from the desktop
Yeah.
without having to get admin involved.
Yeah, that's super exciting because I didn't even think about it that way. I was just in amazement that it could read an Excel file and bring it in, but I didn't realize they were doing an import.
Yeah. I mean, that's the context I took
Mm.
away immediately. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a headache I don't have anymore. If it
Yeah,
works.
which is again the last point of it helps everyone. It all just needs to work, and I think this is where Atlassian is entering the most dangerous territory because I don't know about you, just recently, this whole Robo is everywhere. You can see it overtaking Atlassian Intelligence and
Hmm.
the merging of Atlassian Intelligence with Robo is happening. However, as this entire week, as of this recording, I went in to try to ask Rovo, which normally would have been Atlassian Intelligence, help me make an automation rule. And it just funneled me straight to like, you need an agent. I'm like, I don't want an agent. I want what you used to do, which was help me write an automation rule.
Hmm.
And now I need to make an automation. Now it's prompting me use an agent that helps you make the automation rule. And then you have to pick from the available agents. And I think again, just works everywhere is a dangerous place to be because you are setting the bar so high. The expectations from end users is like it just works. But
And
that is
if
a
it
huge.
doesn't just work, you've got one chance with that end user
Yep.
to get them hooked on this. I mean, I hate to use that vernacular, but essentially what we're trying to do, we're trying to get them hooked on this, and you have that one chance. And if it does not work that first time, they're never going to touch that feature again.
Right. And so that's, I think, where the scary part is, right? And I think this translates very, very well into the helps everyone because, like you said, right, it has to work and it has to be helpful. And I think Atlassian might be prematurely pushing this really, really heavily. And I get it. I understand why, right? They're betting their entire future on Rovo, but it's got to work and it's got to be
Hmm.
helpful. And right now it's not. Right now it's not working, and right now it's not helping.
There are very specific use cases where it is kind of working, but they've got to be so on the point. And Atlassian, and this is something I don't like. I mean, you mentioned this where they're trying to push you. The Rovo is trying to push you towards specific use cases when I was like, no, I already know what I want to do. Just help me do that. Don't try and suggest things. Just help me do what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a learning game. And one of the comments that I made at the conference to a few people that were asking me about my thoughts is your typical project manager, director, VP, scrum master, developer, right? The typical users of the Atlassian tools, they're not going to have time to be fighting with Rovo. Rovo just needs to work.
Hmm.
And I think I think that the Robo works everywhere again. That this is what's either gonna make or break Atlassian. It's just gotta work.
I will note that if Atlassian could get this right, I don't think we're going to be called Atlassian admins in the future. I think we're going to be called Rovo admins.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If
The
Atlassian can
promise is
deliver,
there.
yeah, if Atlassian can deliver on these promises, holy moly, it's just like Microsoft and Google have nothing like it's interesting to me that Atlassian's competition, once Robo works correctly, Atlassian's competition shifts away from Monday and Asana, ClickUp, and it becomes Microsoft and Google.
And OpenAI.
Yeah, and OpenAI to a certain degree. But yeah, yeah, very excited for Rovo. Again, keeping my fingers crossed, Atlassian. I know you guys are all working hard to get this to work correctly, but just from the ground floor, right, what we're hearing on the street, it ain't working. It's definitely
Nope.
getting everywhere, right? It's definitely knowing a lot of stuff, but it ain't working just yet, at least not as promised. And we really need that to happen so that we can evangelize it a little bit better. But excited, very, very excited. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and special shout out to Service Rocket for making this trip possible and this video possible as well. So go give them some love, some links in the description down below. Check out their crew member program and all the other good stuff that they got going on. Rodney, thank you very much.
Thank you. The future of Atlassian Consulting is flexible, and Crew Member by Service Rocket is leading the way. This program connects top Atlassian freelancers with larger, more impactful projects while providing growth opportunities through certifications, community support, and even a pathway to entrepreneurship. If you're ready to grow your career and make a bigger impact, visit the link in our description and apply today.